So we don't believe in the next life just to avoid this consequence. But that will not excuse us. We have to accept a type of body. Otherwise, how? There are so many different types of bodies. What is the explanation? Why different forms of body, different stages of body, different standard of body? That is nature's law. Therefore, this human form of life should be properly utilized. Not simply engaged in sense gratification like cats and dogs. That is not very responsible life. Responsible life is that I have got this improved form of life than the cats and dogs, and I have got more intelligence than the cats and dogs. If I simply utilize it for 4 bodily necessities of life, 4 bodily necessities of life means we require some eating. The cats, dogs, human being, or High Court judge or anyone, they require some eating. They require sleeping, apartment. So that is, cats and dogs can sleep without apartment. But the sleeping required, that is fact. Eating required, that is fact. And sex life, that is also fact. And defense, that is also fact. But these things are common to the cats and dogs and man, human being. So what is the special feature of the human being? The special feature of the human being is that a human being can consider that I have got this nice American or Australian or Indian body, then what I am going to get next? What kind of body? That is utilized for human intelligence. A cat and dog cannot think like that. Therefore our business should be, now by the nature's way, I have come to this form of life, by evolutionary process. Now I have got good intelligence, how I shall utilize it? You are cultivating knowledge. The ultimate goal of knowledge, Krishna says, is to know me. Vedashta sadvai ahameva vedam. The whole knowledge is meant for understanding God. That is the end of knowledge. By progressive knowledge, you can make progress, but unless you do not come to the point to understand what is God, then your knowledge is imperfect. That is called Vedanta. Hathata Brahma Jigyasa. This human form of life, nice facility, intelligence, just like Australia was undeveloped. Since the Europeans came here, it is now very developed, resourceful, because the intelligence has been utilized. Maya dhakshena prakriti swate sacharatan. Nature is a machine. To do thing, a machine works without an operator. Do you think? Is there any evidence? Now this is a machine, photography, a wonderful machine. It is taking the picture and it will move. But there is an operator. Where is the machine which is working without operator? Can you give any example? Here is a machine which is working without operator. So how do you think that the nature machine is working without the supreme operator, God's instruction? How do you think it? This is not very reasonable. We have to judge. There are different evidences. One of the evidence is hypothesis. That hypothesis is that because we see that no machine works without operator, therefore we should conclude it, even though we do not know what is God, what is the nature, we must conclude it that this nature is working under some supreme operator, that is God. It is not necessary to see the operator, but we can guess that there must be operator. So human life is meant for finding out who is there to operate. That is human life. Otherwise it's cats and dogs life. They are eating, sleeping, mating and dancing, that's all. That is not human life. You must find out who is the operator. Athat Brahma Jigyasa, this is called in Sanskrit word. Now this human form of life is meant for inquiring about the supreme operator. Now that supreme operator, Krishna, is so kind. He is giving evidence in the Bhagavad Gita. Maya dhakshena prakriti syate sacharacharam. Now here I am. Under my direction, the Prakriti, the nature, material nature is working. So you accept, then your business is done. And Krishna gave evidences how he is controlling the nature. When Krishna was 7 years old, he lifted one big mountain on his finger. That means our understanding is that there is law of gravitation. By law of gravitation, such a big mountain, it cannot stay in one man's finger. That is our calculation. But he did it. That means he counteracted the law of gravitation. And that is God. So, if you believe this, then you know God immediately. There is no difficulty. Just like if the child is warned, my dear child, do not touch fire, it will burn you. So if the child accepts, then he gets the perfect knowledge immediately. If the child does not accept, he wants to make experiment, then he will burn his finger. So our process of knowledge we should take from the supreme authority. Then we save time for research work. That is Krishna consciousness movement. We take perfect knowledge from Krishna. I may be imperfect, just like child is imperfect. I may be imperfect, you may be imperfect. But if you take the perfect knowledge from the Supreme Perfect, then your knowledge is perfect. That is the process. This is called avarohopantha, knowledge coming, deductive knowledge. So everything is there, and if you like to take advantage of this movement, make your life perfect, go back to home, back to Godhead, then fully utilize the center, our Melbourne center, come here, read our books and argue, try to understand with your full knowledge, no blindly acceptance. There is reason, there is argument, there is philosophy, there is science, everything is there. And if you accept that simply by chanting I shall realize, that is also allowed. Both ways. If you accept this simple process, the chant Hare Krishna and realize God, that is also fact. And if you think what is this nonsense chanting Hare Krishna, then you read books. Both ways we are prepared. Come and take advantage of this moment. Thank you very much.
Srila Prabhupada, we have decided in the scriptures that Lord Brahma rides on a swan, a hamsa. Is this, do we take this to mean that it's a real swan, or is it something symbolic?
Not symbolic, it's fact. Why do you say symbolic?
It's rather unusual.
Unusual, what experience you have got? You have no experience. Have you got any experience of other planetary system? What is there? Then? Your experience is very teeny. So you should not calculate Brahma's life and other things by your teeny experience. Now, in the Bhagavad Gita it is said that the duration of life of Brahma, Sahasra Juga Parjantam Arahajat Brahmano Vidu. Now Brahma's life, it is stated in the Shastra. We have already explained that we accept the authoritative statement of Shastra. Now Brahma's life is stated there. Arahat means his one day is equal to our 4 jugas. 4 jugas means 4,300,000 years, and multiplied by 1,000. Sahasra Juga Parjantam, Sahasra means 1,000. And Juga means the 4,300,000 years makes a Juga, and multiplied by 1,000. That period is Brahma's one day. Similarly, he has got one night. Similarly, he has got 1 month. Similarly, he has got 1 year. And such 100 years he will live. So how you can calculate? How it is within your experience? You think something mysterious? No. Your experience is nothing. Therefore you have to take experience from the perfect person, Krishna. Then your knowledge is perfect. That I have already said. Don't try to understand with your teeny experience everything. Then you will be failure. That I have already explained, that you are coming here, even though you are not initiated, that is also service. So, if you deposit 1 cent daily, one day it may become $100. So when you get the $100, you can get the business. So you come here daily, 1 cent, 1 cent. When it will be $100, you will become a devotee. So this is not wasted. It is, that is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Krita punna punya. Krita punna. Krita means done. And Sukadeva Goswami is describing when Krishna was playing with his cowherd boys' friends. So he was describing that these cowherd boys who are playing with Krishna, they have not come to this position in one day. Krita punna punja, after life, having performed pious activities, now they have come to this position, that they are allowed to play with the Supreme.
This person who says that they're suffering when they say that they're happy and they're not afraid to die.
Someone who is not afraid to die and says that he's not suffering. How do
He's a madman. That's all. Who is caring for madmen?
says?
It's very easy to convince some people they're not their bodies. But it's not very easy to convince them they're not their minds. Is there some way we can explain
That will take time. How can you expect? In 1 minute everyone will understand everything. It requires education, time. If he is prepared to give the time, then he will understand. Not that within 5 minutes, 10 minutes he will understand the whole thing. That's not possible. He is a diseased man. He requires treatment, medicine and diet. In this way he will understand. A diseased man, if he doesn't care for medicine, diet, then he'll suffer. That's all. Yes? Anyone? No?
Yes, yeah.
If we've been here lifetime after lifetime performing impious activities, well, does it mean that we have to be here lifetime after lifetime performing pious activities to balance our sinful reactions?
We have been here for many lifetimes performing sinful activities. So is it possible to counteract all those sinful activities in one lifetime, or does it require many
1
lifetimes?
minute. That is Krishna consciousness movement. 1 minute. You are not reading Bhagavad Gita? What Krishna says? Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekang saranam braja aham ta sarva papebhya mokshayami. You surrender to me, give up your all business. I will give you relief from all sinful reaction, immediate. It requires 1 minute. My dear Krishna, I was forgotten, now I understand, I fully surrender to you. And you become immediately free from all sin. Without any reservation, without any politics. If you fully surrender, Krishna is assuring, aham tva sarva papi amokhaisami masucha. He reassures. Don't worry whether I will be able to give you relief from all reaction. Masucha. It is guaranteed. You do this. So, how much time it requires to surrender to Krishna? Immediately you can do that. Surrender means you surrender and what? As Krishna says. That is surrender. What Krishna says to do. Manmana bhavavad bhakta madhyajimang namaskuru. 4 things. You always think of me and you become my devotee, you worship me and offer your respect, full obeisances, and you do these 4 things. That is full surrender. Mami vaishyasi, asangsa. Then you come to me without any doubt. Everything is there. Krishna has given everything fully. If you accept it, then life is very simple. There is no difficulty. Yes?
How long do you say it is before Krishna comes to this planet again in physical in human form?
Now, anyway, what is your Australian conclusion? Let me know.
Their billion is something else.
Oh.
It's not
Anyway,
the same.
I give you the right figure. 4 million, according to American and English calculation. 4,300,000 years. And multiply it by 1,000. Then what it comes according to English
4
calculation?
billion 300 million. 4 billion 300 million.
That is 12 hours. And add again 12 hours night. Then 8 billion.
600 million.
So Krishna comes after this period. In 1 day, after one day, a Brahma, he appears.
Yes.
Prabhupada, does Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also appear every day
Yes,
of Brahma?
following Krishna.
Always following Krishna.
Krishna comes in the Dapur Ju. There are 4 periods of each Ju. Similarly, Krishna, after finishing his business in this universe, he goes to another universe. In this way, the rotation takes 9 billion years. Now, just imagine how many universes are there. He stays in one universe for 125 years. Everything is a calculation in this Shastra. Now we can imagine how many universes are there. That is altogether material world. That is stated in the Athabha Bahunaitina Kingatina Thavajna Vishtabhya Aham Idam Kristam Ekangsina Sthitu Jagat. This material creation is 1/4 creation of the whole God's property. And the 3/4 part is in the spiritual world. That is God. Not that cheap God, I am God, in this God. You don't accept such cheap God.
As all the devotees here are your disciples, Srila Prabhupada, eternal disciples, eternal servitors. And what if we have to take birth in the material world in the next life? How will we be able to render direct service unto you?
Yes. Even if you remain in the material, if you are not completed your spiritual life, still you will get good birth. Suchinang Srimatangehi Yoga Brashta Sannyas. One who is failure in completing Krishna consciousness, then he is given next chance in a very aristocratic family or very nice, pure Brahmin's family, so that he can again cultivate Krishna consciousness. Next chance. So, everything is there is process. If we follow the process, then you go back. If you fall down, that is our fault. Therefore, the life is meant for tapasya. That Rishabdeva's instruction, that our life should not be wasted like dogs and hogs and pigs. It should be utilized for tapasya, for understanding our position. Tapa putra kajena suddheta satya. This is the aim of life. We have to purify our existence. At the present moment, our existence is impurified. Therefore, we are subjected to birth, death, old age and disease. And as soon as we purify ourselves, then we are not subjected to these 4 material laws. Thank you very much.